Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, and today I am going to finally record a video for my 2000 subscribers Q&A. Now I had intended to do this as a live stream, but I think, as I said in another video, there are just so many live streams on an evening. It's just going to be crossing with someone else's and I don't want to be sat there talking to myself, guys. So I thought I'd do a video, give you guys that ask the questions a chance to see the answers. And if you have any questions and you haven't already asked, feel free. I shall hopefully be doing some live streams in the future with other individuals, and you're always very welcome to come and ask some questions there, obviously. So let's get this cracked off with the individuals that have. So let's get this started with the questions that you guys have asked. And first up we have Scott, the movie critic. Lovely guy, really big supporter on my channel, and he has asked me, or he has said, "Congratulations Lisa, well deserved, massive fan of your channel." Thank you very much, Scott. Keep up the great work. What are some of your favourite TV shows from the 80s and 90s? My favourites would be Bottom, mine too. The Detectives, never seen it. Only Fools and Horses, love it. So 80s and 90s. Now my favourite all-time TV show is Quantum Leap, which I believe was an 80s show. Scott Bakula, loved it. Not entirely enamoured with the thought of them bringing it back. Obviously to me Scott Bakula was that show. I love Bottom, absolutely adore it. Rick Mail and Ed Edmondson. Funnily enough, I was never a big fan of The Young Ones, also with Rick Mail and Ed Edmondson, but Bottom I absolutely adore. Only Fools and Horses, I think everyone in the UK and Ireland love it. I watched the typical 80s, TJ Hooker, the A-Team. I did watch Baywatch, but not very much. If people mentioned them to me, I remember. I'm that kind of person, but really Quantum Leap is the main one that stands out for me. I loved Frasier as well. Things, you know, like American stuff like The Golden Girls. Sadly to say, The Cosby Show I absolutely adored. So there's a childhood memory taken away. But I think Quantum Leap has to be the top answer to that one. Absolutely adored it. It was my favourite series ever on TV. So thanks so much, Scott, for your question. On to question number 2 is from Aaron at Screen Stars. Congratulations Lisa, so delighted for you. Thank you, Aaron. My question is, what is your top 5 favourite shows of the last 10 years? Plus, what Funko Pop do you want to most add to your collection? Oh my goodness, right. Of the last 10 years, okay. Full disclosure guys, I haven't prepared answers to these, and perhaps I should have and I haven't. So let me think. Game of Thrones, definitely. Last 10 years, Dexter. Oh, what's that one about cooking meth? It's here somewhere. Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Dexter, Medium, I absolutely love. That's 4. I adore the show called House with British, he's an English comedian, his name's just gone. Really enjoy that. So that would be what I'd say in the last 10 years are my favourite TV shows. Funko Pop, do you most want to add to your collection? I haven't got any of the Stranger Things pops, and I do want to collect them. Probably at the moment Eddie would be my most coveted. Hopper as well would be my most coveted Funko, and they're not hard to get. It's just a question of, I don't tend to very often buy myself one, because when it comes to my birthday and Christmas, my parents are like, what do you want? And Darren says, oh, get her this. So I tend to keep them so that my parents have something to get me at Christmas. So thanks a lot for your question, Aaron. Okay, on to movie Massacre. Now we have a few here. I think there were a few silly ones and a serious one. Let's try and get one of the silly ones first. Are you a Marmite girl? No, most definitely not. I hate Marmite. It is just disgusting, as my son would say. I don't know if that's a meme, but he goes around saying it everywhere. If you had to choose to keep one, would it be Darren or the dogs? Don't let me answer that question. Obviously it's going to be Darren, but nobody messes with my dogs. That's a difficult one. And he would find it equally as difficult if you asked him. We're both big dog lovers. So a serious one, Movie Massacre. Those previous 2 were also from Movie Massacre. What would you like to see in a Saw sequel? Would you rather have had them keep Kramer alive as they keep going back to him? That's a difficult one. Kramer to me is my favourite thing about Saw. I am aware the later movies aren't amazing movies. It doesn't destroy my enjoyment of them. I love the concept. It's like people that are crazy about Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, or Friday the 13th. There are some pretty naff movies in there, but the fans love them, and I'm the same with Saw. John Kramer is my favourite character, obviously. I love him. I have heard they're doing another one, and it's got to do with him somehow. Is it maybe a prequel about how he came to have, you know, to start what he started, which I hope it is, because I really can't wait to see that. What would I like to see in a Saw sequel? You know, it would be refreshing to see them do something completely different, like go back to John Kramer and find out. I know we got glimpses of why he started to do what he did, but could we perhaps get tests that where he, before he perfected the art, how he started off, that are a bit grittier, a bit less polished, a bit less perfect? Could we perhaps have that? But would I have rather they kept Kramer alive? No. I do think he had to die for the story to progress, but would I like to see more of him? Yes, and that's a complete contradiction. I love him, but would I rather they kept him alive? No. Wouldn't have made sense in the story as to why he started in the first place, because had he not had, everyone's seen Saw, I'm not going to spoil it anyway, had he not had the news that he had in the first Saw, then what he did would have never come to be. Hope that answers it. Thank you so much for your question, Movie Massacre. I have to be so careful not to say your name, because Movie Massacre, obviously on his channel, Movie Massacre Show, is a character, and I don't want to give away his real name. So, oh yes, we have another one from Movie Massacre. He's got a bonus stage channel. I don't think he uses it an awful lot. Jason Momoa or Henry Cavill with long hair. That's easy. That's Henry Cavill with long hair. My goodness. The Witcher all day long. Jason Momoa, as he puts it, he's cut his hair off now, incidentally. He's very pretty to look at, but he does, even though he comes across as, you know, perfectly nice, he's not very bright. He comes across as being a little bit, maybe he's very intelligent, but it doesn't come across. Whereas Henry Cavill is obviously an uber geek, which I love. He can take computers apart and put them back together. He's a big fan of gaming. That's my kind of guy. And he is beautiful. So Henry Cavill with long hair all day long. I like a man with long hair, if you hadn't guessed. So APB, so this is Adam Paul Beaumont, who is just one of the funniest guys on the planet. I just think he's so uneffortlessly funny. Who are some of your favourite underrated YouTubers? Are you looking for a plug by any chance? And one more question, what's one movie you can watch over and over again and never get sick of? People that know me know the answer to this is Misery. I watched that movie too much. More recently, Cyrano. I just have fallen in love with the movie and I can't get enough of it. Favourite underrated YouTubers? Now, there are so many people that I feel deserve more of an audience that it would be really unfair to sit and leave loads of people out. If I don't say your name, please do not be offended. I'm going to say, because he's asked the question, Adam. He's so funny. Adam's Australian and his sense of humour is very dry, as is mine. I'm not quite as clever with humour as he is. And he does these little snippets which are like thoughts about random movie thoughts. And they're maybe only a minute or 2 minutes long, and bloopers and things. And it's just so dry and deadpan, and it makes me roar. I think he's really funny. So obviously I'm going to say Adam. I'm not, because I don't want to sit and individually pick out channels, because I don't think it's fair to do that. I'm going to mention one group of people really, which is the Cinema Squad. Now, Sean, Lost in the Rail, needs no introduction. He has got loads of subscribers. He's very popular, deserves to be even more popular with the hard work that guy puts in. Very polished, very professional, has replaced Austin Burke for me with Where to Go for opinions on movies. But there are the other lads in the Cinema Squad, and they deserve so many more subscribers, every individual single one of them. And their streams I watch regularly. They feel like friends more than like people just I watch on YouTube. There's Geeky Hijinks, which is Joe. He is the only Brit amongst them. The rest are all American. Really feels like a really good friend. Love Joe to death. Really funny, really creative. His like artwork for his channel. He's just done new artwork, which is fantastic. He's just such a creative individual. He's such a nice, grounded, decent, lovely human being, and he's so funny. I just love to watch him on the live streams. I can just sit and watch him and it cracks me up, especially when he's getting gradually more drunk as the night goes on. That's my favourite thing. There is Jonathan, Man of Movies is the name of his channel. Now, he hasn't done many videos lately because he has become a dada, a little papa in the last, how old is our little girl now? A few months old. So he's obviously very busy with his family. He obviously on the live streams, which they have quite often, the Cinema Squad have their own channel called the Cinema Squad. Please, if you take nothing from this, go over and subscribe and check out one of their live streams, guys. He's always on these live streams, so even though it's been a while since he's done a video, and he probably will get back to that at some stage, at the minute he's very much a busy dad. We have the Upside Dan, obviously Dan, who again, like Adam that I mentioned earlier, is so funny. In the Cinema Squad streams, they do little skits, little like insert acting pieces, and Dan's acting is second to none. He's so funny. He's just such a sweet, the main thing that Dan is to me, he's such a sweet person. He's such a just lovely person. He's the sort of person that you know you could depend on. He's just one of life's decent, nice people, but really talented and funny to boot. And I think he hides that. They have the expression hides his light under a bushel, and I feel Dan does that. I feel he's a lot more talented than he knows himself. I'm terrible at remembering names. So Anthony, Fever Dreamland Theatre. If you're subscribed to his channel, he's a massive fan of the Twilight Zone, and all of his videos, most of his videos are about breaking down the old Twilight Zone episodes. He's very professional. He's got one of the best voices on YouTube. He's amazing. Again, very likable, very personable. This is why I like these guys' streams so much, because they're all such lovely guys individually. Just salt of the earth type. He's got a brilliant accent. He's got a proper New York accent. I hope I'm right there. I hope I haven't got that wrong, Anthony, if you're watching. He's done a collaboration with Rainbow Fright, another awesome channel, DeRay, who's got the best female voice on YouTube, bar none. They did a collaboration about Dr. Sleep and The Shining, which was really interesting. And last but by no means least, Jace, who his channel, let me pronounce it right, is Bergerot Car. He is very much, his channel is very much based around like superheroes, Marvel, comics, that kind of thing. Again, an amazing voice, really good impressionist, really good at creating characters, really likable, knows his stuff. If you like, there was the series called What If, which was the cartoon series based on superheroes, but what if this changed and we did this? So if you like that kind of thing, check out Jace's channel. It's very, very knowledgeable about all of that. It goes completely over my head. It's so deep, I'm not knowledgeable enough. He's done a recent stint on the new She-Hulk series, which he's really not very happy about, and his videos have got just massive views these last few, and he's really, really touched and pleased that something's like got that recognition. Individually, all these guys deserve to have massive platforms on their channel, every one of them, and I just keep trying to push to get people to watch them, because if you do, you'll fall in love with them all too, guys. So a very long-winded answer to that, Adam, is yourself, Cinema Squad. There are loads more. I'm not going to name them purely because I'll leave someone out and I don't want to do that. Ross. So this is Ross he's asked from Random TV. He's also got a channel called Random Horror, and he's also part of Threesome 3 from the Grave as Lark, the very old vampire. Didn't say the age. Is it 200-year-old? But I don't know. So Ross has asked, congrats on the 2K. My question is, what true crime documentary truly gave you chills? That's a good one, Ross. I think people that watch true crime tend to be quite hard to hit home with, because we just watch so much of this heinous stuff. Anything involving children or animals, Don't F with Cats, it's an amazing documentary. It's on Netflix. They didn't show any animal abuse for anyone, but if you like animals, it's still an uncomfortable, because there's audio, it's an uncomfortable watch. But what he went on to do, and it's very common that people that go on to be killers start off with animals. It's a very common thing. Another thing that's very common and has been found in a lot of big serial killers is a head injury as a child. That's a very common thing amongst serial killers, but I'm deviating, sorry, I'm on my subject, I'm on my favourite thing. But Don't Fuck With Cats, I swore, was uncomfortable. There was one called The Trials of Gabriel Hernandez. Oh my Jesus, it was awful. It just made me want to get my hands on the parents. It was awful, truly awful, and I would never watch it again. It's about what a very young child went through at the hands of his mother, and I believe it was her partner. They're both thankfully in prison. Hideous. Goodnight Sugar Babe was a really difficult one about a girl that had like special educational needs, and it was about the manipulation and what her own family put her through. Hideous. Those three are probably top of the list as to ones that I find difficult, that give me chills. But really anything, the UK one, anything about Jamie Bulger, I can't watch the descriptions of what they done to him. Jamie Bulger, I believe, was he 2 or 3? And he was abducted by 2 boys who were 10 or 11. I did a video about most disturbing images to me, and one of them is CCTV still of the 2 boys leading Jamie Bulger away, and they went on to kill him. And I can't listen to the description of what they did. I just can't do it. So if it's a child or if it's an animal, oddly those 2 things I think get to me more than anything else. So thank you, Ross, for your question. Finally, and obviously by no means least, Sean from Lost in the Reel. We love Sean. What are some of the films that you can think of that people loved that you downright hated? And have you ever felt the need to hide your true feelings on a film because you feared backlash from the community, fan base, trolls, etc.? Okay, I'll answer the last part first. No. I suppose a Serbian film is very much disliked by a lot of people. I did a very ranty video about it, and I did get a lot of stick by people that told me I didn't understand what they were trying to do, and just because it overstepped my boundary did not mean that it wasn't a good movie. I didn't argue that. Everyone has got a different boundary of which they don't want to step over, and for me personally, a Serbian film overstepped that boundary. Cannibal Holocaust overstepped that boundary with it's got scenes of real animal cruelty and death, and that's too far for me. But it's not too far for some people, and those people that it's not too far for really took issue with my opinions, and I got all sorts of crap on Facebook and all sorts about it, which I actually removed everyone that I knew from Facebook or from YouTube off my Facebook at one stage. I mean, I kept people that I sort of like knew in real life, but anyone that I sort of met that I just knew from YouTube, I deleted it all because I was getting so much crap on my Facebook channel. What a lot of people don't realise, and if you ever tag me on Facebook and it's anything to do with YouTube, please do not be offended if I remove the tag. No one in my family knows I do YouTube. People that know me like in the community and my neighbours, nobody knows I do YouTube, and I don't want them to know. So I keep anything from YouTube off my Facebook channel completely these days. So no, I would not feel the need to hide my opinion from backlash. I've got backlash for all sorts. Opinions, saying something maybe factually slightly incorrect on a true crime video gets you so much shit you would not believe, which is why it's been a while since I've done one. Just people completely attack you for the simplest things. My accent gets quite a lot. People have told me they need to use subtitles because they can't understand what I'm saying. So would I feel the need to hide my No, I really don't care. I'll give you my true, every opinion I have is always my true opinion. I always am honest about these things. Who else would admit they didn't enjoy Pulp Fiction when they know it's one of the most loved Tarantino movies? It pains me still. I like keep watching it thinking, Lisa, just come on, it's gonna click, it hasn't yet, and I don't know why. So one film that people loved that I hated, I didn't hate Pulp Fiction, I just didn't love it. I didn't really enjoy it. It was just okay. And I know it deserves more than that, so I know that's one that always surprises people. I really didn't like, I didn't hate. There was the 2 cuts of the Justice League, and the second one, the really long one, everybody ranted and raved about how amazing it was, and I found it really dull. I thought certain parts were beautiful to look at, but it went on too long and it bored me to tears, and I know that's unpopular. I didn't like either Suicide Squad movie. Most people don't like the first one, the trailer for that. It's the movie that I was most disappointed by. Obviously we had Queen in the trailer, and the trailer looked fantastic. The movie was terrible. Then obviously we had the second version years later, and I didn't like that either, which most people did. So I would say those would be the big ones, but I can't think of something I downright hated that other people love. I really can't. There's no point looking behind me because I won't have a movie if I downright hated it. The only movies I can say that I downright hated would be Serbian film, although I can see that it's very well made. I hated Cannibal Holocaust, but if you take out the animal bits, but that I can't get my head around the fact that I know that they should be there. But no, here's one, I'm not a fan of most comedy horror. I hated the Scary Movie films. I think they were called Epic Movie. Hate that kind of thing, not a fan at all. I do really hate those vociferously. For me, comedy and horror, to get them to gel well, it's really hard. I love American Werewolf in London, Shaun of the Dead, Army of Darkness. They do a good job, but for me, it's a difficult sell to put horror and comedy together for me. But that, guys, is it. I'm not going to prattle on any longer. Thank you so much for your patience and for watching. I do apologise that I didn't do it in a live, but as I say, it's just really difficult for me to get the time. And when I have the time is a time when other people are doing, like, you know, their weekly live streams. It just seems a bit pointless because there wouldn't be anyone to watch. Obviously, also, we have the time difference with the US and the UK, so that would cut a lot of people from America out. So I thought I'll do it as a little video, guys, and you can watch it at your leisure. But thank you so much, everyone that watches a video, comments, supports the channel. It means an awful lot. I know my watches and comments are way, way below my subscribers. But to me, those few people that I've connected with make it all worth it. I never will look at a video and say, oh, well, that's only got 50 views, because to me, 50 people have watched that video. And that, to me, that means it all. It's 2,000 subscribers. I don't know who you are. You're not watching, but thank you anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch up with you next week for another What I Watched, and we will try to get back to the creepy videos. I hope to concentrate more so on true stories that have influenced movies, or movies have been based on. That's the sort of avenue I'm taking things down, hopefully. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Over and out from Lacey Lives.